right, so this past week they dropped the mobile game Steven Universe Attack the Light, and it is astonishingly good.
It's really good.
So
I was like, I mean, because
Well, for one, it's a game.
Because I'm a games developer myself, I was like, oh my god, this is a Steven Universe game. Oh, what if it's bad? Oh, I'm going to feel so annoyed if it's... And, like, I wasn't expecting it to be anything special. I thought it might be, like, decent at best. And then they bring out what is probably the best RPG designed for a touchscreen mobile system I have literally ever played. Holy shit.
My expectations were pretty high because they were comparing it to like Paper Mario.
that is like a dangerous thing to invite comparisons to. Like, they can't even make new Paper Mario games because they get compared to Thousand Year Door, which is honestly one of the best games ever made. It's extremely well written. I'm not going to talk about Paper Mario 2 too much, but like it's required playing. It's so good. Like, to me, the benchmark for games based on cartoons that aren't on the Super Nintendo is the first Adventure Time game. Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage? A good game. It's not great, but it's solid. It's tonally consistent with the show. It's very functional. It's pretty tightly designed for what it is, although it had probably more backtracking in it than the entire Metroid Prime trilogy. But it was a solid game that I guess you could compare it to Castlevania more than anything else. Then
And there was that big glitch of the final boss that made it so I couldn't beat it.
Oh, yeah.
Really? What was the glitch?
Sometimes you just took damage for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes you would take damage even if you didn't actually get hit.
Yeah.
Because when he would do, like, the spread attack...
I mean, the
you're
final
like,
boss
I dodged all the spread. Why am I still in pain?
Yeah, I mean, the final boss of that game was a bullet hell.
Yeah.
But,
Anyway.
And then, the other two Adventure Time games apparently weren't very good. I didn't play either of them. And then, like, I think the most interesting thing to compare this Steven Universe game to is the Legend of Korra game. Because they're kind of diametric opposites.
Yeah.
That game is not very good. I wouldn't say it's awful.
It's not awful.
But it's not good enough to really be worth anybody's time, honestly.
It's quite cheap, is the word I
That's
described
the
it. Which is funny because the Steven Universe game clearly has a much lower budget and far fewer people working on it. And it's 2D and it's really simple, but it doesn't feel cheap like the Legend of Korra game feels.
This is the thing. A proper Avatar Universe game requires a huge budget. Like, everything was lining up to look pretty good. It was developed by Platinum Games. It was Bright were overseeing the story elements, but there just wasn't enough money behind that project. It was unpolished. It was repetitive, and it just didn't go as big as the source material required.
And a lot of time they kind of had run out of ideas for what bending powers should do, so they kind of just pulled things out of their arse for what bending powers did and just used here's a generic things that bothered me about it were things like she doesn't change the style of her martial arts moves when she changes bending type, just like the effects change, so she's still doing like the same kicks and punches. Just
honestly, I think that same problem with the actual show.
I think
that's true in Korra, especially like in Avatar, like the bending styles were very, very different, and then in Korra it's much less pronounced.
I think you could argue that by the time of Korra, everything just kind of became like MMA.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, with professional bending and stuff.
And they sort of dealt away with like the formalism. But we're talking about Steven because I have to go.
Yeah, so
Okay.
So what this game was, what it excelled is they knew their budget and they knew their scope. And they excelled. They made it's an extremely simple game. And it's so
very solid.
It is a very bare bones dungeon crawl. Like a extremely simple dungeon crawl. Like nothing's going on really in that aspect. And then turn-based combat, and I've been thinking about this for about a week and I still stand by this. I think it's the most interesting turn-based combat in any game I've ever played.
I'm actually quite inclined to agree, and that's speaking of somebody who is developing a turn-based combat RPG at the moment. I was playing it this is really well thought out.
Stop the presses.
Like,
We've been doing
shit.
it all wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. I remember when I first started playing it, I was like, huh, so we don't just take turns? I can make up how long I want my turn to be, or I can like have a character attack more than once if I want.
Well, what it basically is that every move uses MP, or because this is basically a Paper Mario game, FP, but you just get MP every turn, and you don't have to. Yeah. It's so. I don't want to go too much into mechanics because it's not what this show's about. But like, it's so smartly designed, and it didn't need to be. It didn't need to be this good. They could have
just churned out any old crap and just stuck Steven Universe on it and made
but
lots
they don't because it's Steven Universe.
Especially because it's a mobile game. Like, if anything, I was like, this is going to be a good mobile game. No, this is a good video game.
This is $3 American, and it is, like... It's so good. It's so incredibly...
I was, like, blown away by it. I was like, you know, you get the whole fucking game...
Yeah, no micropayment bullshit. None of that.
Yep.
And it's a pretty long game because there's like 5, 6 worlds.
It's significant length for the amount of money I paid
and it's challenging. Like the difficulty curve is. It's a constant upward slope. There aren't really random encounters. Every encounter is harder than the last one, and you have to apply yourself every time. Do you know how hard that is to do?
And you have to unlock running away.
There's no grind. The game is so perfectly calibrated to where you're going to be at each time. And there's enough wiggle room, because obviously, like, you might run away from some stuff. You can use those instant level up items. But every fight is a challenge.
Yeah,
you don't just blow through fights and grind stuff like in every other JRPG I've ever played.
Yeah, and it manages to do what Final Fantasy XIII really wanted to do by level capping the characters, only Steven Universe Attack the Light does it more elegantly by, instead of sticking a level cap, just making grinding not very possible because encounter respawns are quite rare, and by making the experience drops an appropriate amount that if you do every encounter in an area, you will be appropriately leveled, give or take a few levels to defeat bosses. It's just...
There is actually a level cap, though. I beat the game, and it caps at 30.
Right, okay.
Or 9,030.
That's not quite... Yeah, but Final Fantasy XIII level caps you in... Like, every act has a level cap, so you can't grind beyond, which works really well because it keeps encounters challenging, but Attack the Light does it more elegantly. It does the same thing more elegantly to keep encounters of an appropriate challenge level for the player, so I am just
because at no point is this game saying, no, you gotta stop leveling. It's just so organic. Now,
I only really got to the level cap because I was trying to go back and finish stuff I hadn't done before.
Yeah.
And I got stuck in this one room, so I had visited 5 times and fought 5 times and fought all the enemy encounters 5 times. So by then I was like, okay, no more levels for you. Yeah. Stop.
Now, I would love to see another one of these games, and I would love to see this developer do games like this for other properties. I think these guys making a game like this for Star vs. the Forces of Evil could work pretty well.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Now,
just get them making Adventure Time. Get them to make an Adventure Time game.
Yeah. What? Now, if they do make another one of these, I would like to see them kind of go further with the Paper Mario thing. And again, to be as brief about the best game ever as possible, the Paper Mario's biggest strength is not in its gameplay, but in its writing and its charm and how just creative it is. The story of this game is like that of a filler episode. Steven unwittingly activates a bad thing and then they go fix it.
Yeah.
And the character...
You do get to actually learn some stuff about... There is a little bit of, gem background stuff in there once you get towards the end.
There's a little bit, and, all the character interaction, although not super heavy, is absolutely in line tonally with the show, and it's all very cute. It's all very cute and endearing.
It's very in character.
But I think they could do more with it. If they wanted to tell, a really cool story, even if it's something that has to be filler by definition, I think they could go bigger.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now that they've got this engine, they can add more stuff to it.
I'd be up for a sequel. Definitely.
And it can't be that hard to develop because, like, this game, like, I imagine QA is pretty easy because, like, I imagine collision adds, like, 3 years to QA time, and there's no collision in this game.
Yeah, it's speaking as a dev, it seems like it's a pretty simple game to make, and really the magic is just in excellent games design. Just
spectacular
really
game. Like, this $3 game kicks the ass of so many $60 JRPGs I've played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, I know you really like Final Fantasy 13, but aren't there a lot of aspects in which that game is just a mess?
Oh yes, there are definitely a huge number of flaws, and this Attack the Light is definitely one of the most solid RPGs I've played in a long time. It's not gonna have the kind of depth to it that I crave from like a high budget RPG like say FF13 and the like, but
those games are trying to do more. You know, like that's like in their defense. Yeah,
different thing. It's
like I said,
different budget. It's
they knew their
kettle of fish.
They knew their scope. They knew their budget, and they did the perfect game for that scope and budget.
Yeah, I think anybody who is an aspiring games developer should definitely look at Attack the Light as just a perfect example of knowing exactly what your budget is, exactly what your scope is. I mean, the fact that they used the distance models for the characters,
modified distance models, but still, yeah, because apparently in Stephen's in-show distance model, the star is a pentagon.
Yeah, but they use like pretty much the distance models because it's
but
more
it was
feasible.
So cute.
It's cute. Yeah. You know, the enemy design is pretty simple and looks all like there's not like any back-breaking animation going on.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's exemplary game design. And
superb game. Really good. And
this is a new high water mark.
Grumpy Face?
Grumpy Face.
This is a new...
All my thumbs up to Grumpy Face. Really good.
This is a new high water mark for licensed games, especially for licensed game based off of kids' properties. Because every couple of years...
In mobile games? Like,
Jesus.
I still can't believe I'm playing this on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, every couple of years... The bullshit games media will be like, oh, it looks like licensed games are good for once. Because, like, this past year we had Shadow of Mordor and Alien Isolation. And I haven't played them, but I understand them to be good games. Because they had...
pretty good, yeah.
They had high budgets because they're very high-profile franchises.
Yeah.
There haven't been licensed games based off of kids' properties with the same kind of budget as other AAA games since the super goddamn Nintendo.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it hasn't
that
happened
time.
Since, you know, when Capcom was making Disney stuff. They were making great stuff.
Yeah,
you know, Aladdin, DuckTales. Aladdin and DuckTales, I think, are the two poster children of that.
Yeah.
But, like, everything else...
I have to go. This isn't a games podcast.
Okay.
But, yes, we should wrap up.
So this is how you gotta make these games from now on. Okay.
So, like, final thoughts on Steven Universe
It's the best cartoon for kids on TV right now.
Yep.
Agree.
Yep. Top tier television.
Okay.
I can't even begin to describe how much joy this franchise gives me. I sit down to watch episodes, rewatch episodes. I'm smiling. It feels like I'm spending my time doing something. I'm watching TV in my underwear, but I feel like I'm accomplishing something with my life.
You're enriching yourself.
Yeah, that's how
it's
good
an
of a
enriching
show it is. And nothing gives me more joy than this show right now. Period. Nothing in life gives me more joy than this show. It is just a delight.
Superb. Really good show.
If you...
My favorite.
Shadow is basically a lot of stuff people want us to watch. Open Star Racers. I have a friend who's a really big fan of that, so I could borrow her DVD. SWAT Cats. We got a couple people who want us to talk about SWAT Cats. I don't know.
I'll solo a fucking 2-hour SWATcast podcast.
Chowder or Flapjack.
They've both been on the list for a while.
Yeah. Arthur, not gonna happen. Too many episodes.
Too many episodes. That's more
Sailor
than anything.
Moon. We've talked about this. It's too many episodes. It's too big.
You guys should do like all the old British cartoons like Rhubarb and Custard and Trapdoor.
Those
Rhubarb and Custard sounds like the most British show ever.
I think you're making fun of us, actually. Yeah.
No, see, we had Banana Man, we had
Banana Man.
Tooch has talked about Banana Man.
I know about Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse is getting rebooted.
Danger Mouse is, I think Danger Mouse is the one British children's show that I've seen where I'm like, that concept could absolutely work today. Aren't they remaking it?
Yeah.
They're remaking Danger Mouse, right? I hope it's good. Because Danger Mouse I like his design. I like the premise. It's basically British Secret Squirrel.
Next week is a show that I don't think anybody has recommended to us, but we want to do it anyway because none of us have seen it and we want to check it out. The Max.
Yes.
That's MAXX. It was an MTV thing.
Because it's extreme, too.
It's like
so extreme.
It was apparently based off of one of the good comics to come out of the 90s, so that's something. And then the week after that, we're doing Kim Possible, which is all on Disney's website.
Woo!
I'm sorry, Kate, probably only if you're in the United States, but I'm sure you're used to this bullshit.
Oh, I used to watch Kim Possible. Good show.
So good.
Has Steven
The Max is also available on MTV's website for streaming, all of it.
The problem is that these sites tend to have restrictions depending on where you are.
Do you know if Steven has aired officially in the UK yet?
I don't know. From what I heard, I think it should have started airing by now on the UK's Cartoon Network.
Do they spell Steven with a PH?
I think that would be a bit much to ask.
I don't think I would like the show as much if it was spelled with a PH.
That's not Steven's style. He doesn't have a fancy name. He's not a fancy kid. Look at his father. He would never name his kid Steven PH.
If you showed him, his dad would be like, "Why'd you spell it wrong?"
I don't get it.
Yeah, there's a difference even in this country between
He's not a
PH
step hen.
Stevens and V Stevens. They're two different kinds of Stevens.
Yeah, there's both Stevens over here.
Yeah.
So anyway, this has been the Steven Namecast.
Yeah. All right, yeah.
You can find us on Tumblr. We're
I got it. You can find us on Tumblr, thetoongoons.tumblr.com. Got all our episodes and a bunch of cool posts Nina puts about animation. Twitter, at the Toon Goons. Remember our hashtag #UnlockPepperan. We got to get that out of the vault. I got to see the rest of this fucking show.
Yes.
You guys got to get on that.
SoundCloud / the Toon Goons. YouTube, the Toon Goons podcast. We're on iTunes, and I think that's everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Kate, is there anything you want to pimp since you're on the air, out to new peeps who might not know you?
I have a games blog that's katemakesgames.tumblr, and I have obviously my official website is kateholdenart.com, and my regular Tumblr is Firesdom, FAISDM, where I just read blog stuff and post random crap and things and opinions. It's not that interesting. And my Twitter is @DarthMongoose, so feel free to follow me there. Oh, and I have a YouTube, which is Kate the Mongoose, where I mostly do Let's Plays. I finished Let's Playing Tomb Raider today.
How many people did she kill?
I believe the final kill count is over 380 human beings, over 50 undead samurai, 1 undead samurai ogre, and 1 undead sun queen.
I did not finish that game. I didn't know those things were in there.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
know.
what? I thought
actually, no. I got
Tomb Raiding game.
No, every Tomb Raider has supernatural shit in it, don't they?
It's all magic and crap towards the end, but that's me.
Wow.
All right,
Cool.
we gotta go. So
Right.
I've been
Thanks
Nikki.
for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Maybe some other time. You were great.
You need to watch all these English cartoons.
We'll watch this ridiculous rhubarb thing. I'm looking at a picture of this guy.
Yeah.
Rhubarb and custard.
I'm looking at an image of it. This still looks like a prank that you're playing on me.
We'll read a whole bunch of Beano comics.
Oh, and I just want to say this.
Rhubarb and
One more
custard
thing
now.
I want to say, and this is regarding animation. One thing I want to say in a public forum. When Tom Siddell finally gets off his ass and starts making Gunner Court into a cartoon that it deserves to be in, if he doesn't cast you as Annie, I'm going to swim over there and kick his ass.
Much appreciated.
Or I'll just wait till he comes to SPX again and kick his ass there so I don't have to drown. At least Surma, because like she had the super thick northern accent. Whatever. I've been Nikki.
I've been Nina.
I'm Tooch.
And I am Kate.
And thank you for tuning in.
Believe in Steven.
Believe!